3 days out from the test match here at Johannesburg, Ellis Park, the cauldron that it is. The Springboks have already named their side, which they do traditionally early in the week. I'm joined by Supersport's Matthew Pearce. Matty, good to have you with us. What have you made of that starting 15 that Jack Nienaber has named?
Well, thanks, Justin. Yeah, and great to be joining you here. I think it's an interesting selection. There's 5 changes in the starting lineup. 2 of those were enforced by injury. Both Faf de Klerk and Kurtley Arendse were concussed. Also, Arendse picking up a 4-week ban for that red card, which we think it may have been a little light, to be honest. Yeah. But anyway, those were enforced. So Jaden Hendrikse comes in at scrum half. I think that was pretty obvious. At halfback, he played brilliantly, coming on in the 46th second of the game. And then Jesse Creel on the wing. May have been 1 or 2 other options they would have looked at there, but Jesse did play on the wing all 3 test matches on the end of year tour. And then the selection changes, Ox and Che. He starts at loosehead in place of Trevor Nyakani, who falls out of the 23. And then Dwayne Vermeulen. Good to see him back. He had a little bit of minor knee surgery after the United Rugby Championship season with Ulster. And good to see him back at number 8.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, well, let's talk about that much anticipated bench, the bomb squad. Now, a couple of changes in that, but very much they're always looking at that 6-2 split. What's the reason behind that?
Well, 6-2, I mean, 43 seconds into the game at Mbombela, I'm going on commentary. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the inherent risk of 6-2. You lose one of your 2 backline replacements in the first minute of the game. And what that really does, you'll back a halfback, especially a Marshall, to play 80 minutes, as Jaden Hendrikse did. But what it doesn't allow you to do is use your second backline player tactically. Willie LaRue came on with about 2 minutes to play because you just can't risk another backline injury. So there is risk, but they say it's calculated risk, it's acceptable risk. Slight tweak on the bench this week. They've gone with 2 loose forwards in Jasper Wiese and Kwagga Smith. Last week they had Salman Murat and Franco Mostert as 2 second row, with Mostert covering both. Now they've gone with Mostert as second row cover and 2 loose forwards. So an indication the breakdown is going to be another key factor. Malcolm Marx on the bench. And just a word on that. You know, he and Kitsoff, very similar heights. So it is about scrumming units. It's about the combinations that work best. And you'll see the starting front row and the front row on the bench getting pretty much 40 minutes anyway.
Tactically, the All Blacks haven't named their side. That's tomorrow here in South Africa. Do you think the Springboks will change the way they play? They were so successful in the game at the weekend. You don't expect them to probably change it up too much?
I don't. I don't expect them to change a lot. But the one thing that's always a work on for them, and Jacques Nienaber talks about it a lot, he says, you know, we create a lot of opportunity. I think if you had to be ultra critical of the Springboks' performance last Saturday, you'd say, how were they only 7 points up at half-time? They'd been dominant in terms of territory. They'd applied so much pressure. They'd squeezed the life out of the All Blacks. But they were still in it. And that's what's disappointing for them. So will we see a little bit more enterprise out the back? Hopefully. I think there'll be a little bit of a change with Dwayne Vermeulen back at number 8. He'll play more in the backfield than Jasper Wiese does, because he is better under the high ball. So there'll be a little bit of a tweak in the roles of the loose forwards. But I think you can expect that high pressure, flooding the breakdown, lots of turnover ball. And I think New Zealand, by contrast, they've got to be prepared to play a little bit more direct to nullify that.
Well, very familiar looking South African side, which is in top form at the moment. So we'll look forward to what the All Blacks name. There could be some changes there, and also this big test match at Ellis Park. Bring it on, should be fun.